What is going on, everybody? It is Dorsey Made Gaming, y'all. I'm so excited to be doing this podcast. It's a step in the right direction for us as a community, and I feel like it's an amazing opportunity because I don't really hear gaming podcasts, and why not expand our horizons, y'all? But you know what I want to talk about today, y'all. I want to talk about some Madden 18 information. Now, the other day on Twitter, this was actually yesterday, Jake Stein. Now, Jake Stein is he tweeted out it's actually like an emoji type thing. He has three bodies, three human emojis, and it has a V, and it has three more, and it says coming soon. Now, Jake Stein is helping out with Madden Ultimate Team and stuff of that nature. And I found it very interesting because we already pretty much know that team play is going to be in Madden 18. However, this tweet is kind of leading me to believe that maybe team play is coming to Madden Ultimate Team. Now, how that will work, I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work out. It's going to be very interesting to see. But nonetheless, we may see it. Now, me personally, I'm not just the biggest fan of Madden Ultimate Team. I'm old school with Madden. You know, I like playing franchise mode and things of that nature, which that's my pride and joy. That's my baby. That's what I like. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, let's talk a little bit about franchise mode. Now, EA, if you're listening, don't leave us out. You know, don't leave us out. It's guys, you know, I feel like franchise mode kind of brought Madden to where it is today. And to be honest, it kind of seems like franchise mode is kind of taking the back seat to Madden Ultimate Team. Now, I understand that you're coming out with story mode, and I understand you're trying to get some things going with that. That's all well and fine. That's great. But let's see what we got with franchise mode. We got a pretty extensive list of things we would like adding. Now, I do understand it is a business at the end of the day, and you can't add everything, but hey, get your list ready because I'm finna give you some stuff. All right. Number one, I'm going to talk about the draft. Now, in real life, drafting plays a major role in a franchise's success. And, you know, you look at teams like the Cleveland Browns, who's known for not drafting very well in recent years, and thus has kind of contributed to their lack of success in the NFL. So I feel like drafting players or scouting and drafting players should weigh a little bit more heavily in Madden 18 or future Maddens for that matter. I'm going to just say in Madden football games. Now, one thing that I like to note is that with drafting players, you know, like right now in Madden, I don't really pay attention to scouting. I don't pay attention to the draft. Why? Because there's no reason to pay attention to it because your draft picks, there's nothing exciting about it. You know, there's nothing that draws you in to say, I want to scout these guys. You know, maybe if there was some kind of system you could put in to where you actually get to see these guys work out at their pro days or the combine, I think that would be really cool. Maybe you get to see some highlights or something of that effect. One other thing is the feeds, you know, the news feeds. I liked when they used to be at the front. You know, that gave me more incentive to actually look through and see, you know, some information about the draft prospects and their stories and stuff. But now I have to go through several menus just to get to that option. Another thing that I feel could be better in franchise mode is practice. Yes, we talking about practice, man. We're talking about practice. Yeah. Because let's be real. Football games are won on the practice field. Let's be real. Because practice, you know, I understand that, you know, a lot of players that play the game don't have time for that. You know, they want to get straight into the action and things of that nature. But there are guys out there like myself who love to actually feel like I've earned a win. And I'm talking about earned a win in the sense of scouting and drafting properly, you know, signing proper free agents, managing my depth chart, and as well as being successful in practice, you know, kind of like how it used to be when you could run drills and stuff of that nature to improve your draft stock in previous Madden games. Why not add that same element of accomplishment to the franchise mode, to where all of those things play a key factor? I think that would be extremely intriguing, extremely interesting, and a really, really cool thing to add some depth to Madden franchise mode. Also, we talked about the free agency, you know, stuff like that. I think free agency can be better. It is fun to, you know, see guys in free agency say, hey, I want to pick this guy up. There's not much that I would technically change with that, because the system is pretty good. It is pretty good because you get to see the players, the type of players they are that fit into your scheme or they don't fit into your scheme. They actually can be attracted to potentially signing with you based off of their play style and your location, your team, your chemistry, things of that nature. So that's a pretty good, you know, in-depth thing to have in the game. But a really, really big thing that a lot of people that I've talked with, live streaming and things of that nature, a lot of people want to see multiple, I'd say, broadcast presentations for Madden. For instance, you know, hey, this game may be on Fox. So you have the Fox presentation and broadcast. The game may be on CBS, you know, or ESPN, you know, ABC or something of that effect. You see what I'm saying? And or the NFL Network, which is very surprising to me, considering this game is licensed. It's an NFL licensed product, yet you don't have like some of the NFL network presentations and broadcast in the game. It's very surprising, to say the least. Be that as it may, the community would love to have that. And I would say, if not above that, if not second to that, would be a halftime show. We got into a heated debate. No, I ain't gonna say a heated debate. We got into a very, very detailed and good conversation in the live stream yesterday with the people in there about a actual halftime show. Now, if y'all don't know, NFL 2K5 had, to me, one of the best presentations of any football game I've ever played, with Chris Berman's pregame, postgame, halftime show. Like it's phenomenal. And the fact that it was done so many years ago on the PlayStation 2, and here we are 2 generations above, and we've yet to see anything to rival that in a football game. Now, that is what people want to see. Now, with Madden 16, they brought back the halftime show, but it's not a show at all. Rather, just a highlight of the touchdowns that were scored in the first half. And a pretty dull down analysis, you know. Now, with 17, they kept it the same. Not only that, but because a lot of people skip it now because it's not worth watching, they've given the commentators some phrases to say, you know, as opposed to that. For instance, if you skip it, he may say, wow, you're not even going to let your players get a drink of water. Or he may, you know, you hear him chewing on some food and it's, oh, you know, didn't get to finish my apple. They say things that elude you to feel like, wow, maybe I should have watched that halftime show, but there's nothing to watch. It's nothing engaging, you know. A lot of people would like to see a halftime show, a pregame show, a postgame show. Not knocking on any doors, not trying to step on any toes, but if you look at what 2K is doing with NBA, with their NBA franchise, they have an awesome pregame show, they have an awesome halftime show, and they have an awesome postgame show, the postgame wrap-up. And in Madden 2, I know in previous Maddens, they used to have like a weekly wrap-up type of thing, but it still didn't compare to like 2K's presentation with those things. It's little things like that that engages the audience and gets people really pumped up to actually pay attention and watch it. It gives that player a sense of control, a sense of of realness to the game. Because let's be real, some of us play Madden because, hey, we just like to play video games. But then there's some of us, like myself, who, played college football, didn't get to go to the NFL, and would really, 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 like to live out that in a sense as far as in a video game. Because that's what video games do for us. They give us a sense to escape this reality into a virtual world of limitless possibilities and creativity. So, to be able to watch a halftime show and he's talking about the team, talking about what was good, what was bad, what the other teams, what the teams plan on improving on coming out in the next half and things like that. It really gets you psyched up. And I really feel like that is a major missing element in a, quote, simulation football game. Now, don't get me wrong, anybody. I'm not knocking EA Sports. I've been playing EA Sports titles ever since I could remember. My first Madden game that I was old enough to play was Madden 96. And I remember, playing with my brother, and we'd get on there, create a player. You even got to run the 40-yard dash. Now, they did implement a 40-yard dash. I think it was Madden 07. However, it used the analog sticks, which to me was a not very good mechanic. Simply because I was used to those track and field games. Remember International Track and Field for the PlayStation? And I was used to Madden 96, for instance, where you just tapped two buttons, alternating them to run. I really wish that they would implement that, because pulling those analog sticks down, that's just, it doesn't make sense. And I guess it was put there to maybe keep people from running amazingly fast 40-yard dash times to kind of get a more realistic feel. But it was clunky, to say the least, and ill planned, if you ask me personally. Yet, I digress. Now, where franchise mode can really improve also, a lot of people are wanting the Pro Bowl back, including myself. I remember playing Madden, with my team, dominating it and trying to see how many of my players I could get to make it to the Pro Bowl, And when that was being done, it implores you to explore other players, Nothing was more satisfying than picking up a free agent, maybe a rookie quarterback in the free agency who's been cut or undrafted, and molding and shaping him into a franchise quarterback and him reaching the Pro Bowl. Nothing was more satisfying than that. Finding players of that magnitude and doing those things with them and being able to play with them in the Pro Bowl, that was a phenomenal feat. But they don't really emphasize that. You don't even get to play the Pro Bowl anymore. I don't know why, but you just don't. You get it? And another thing, aside from the Pro Bowl, player awards. Remember, you used to get awards for, AFC Player of the Week, NFC Player of the Week, NFL, MVP and things of that nature. And while, yes, those things are still in the game, they're not brought to the forefront. Like, there's nothing, unless you go to look at it, you're not going to notice it. You're not going to see it. You're not going to pay attention to it. There's not enough emphasis on it, I remember back in previous Madden games, you could even go into your player card or the player information, and you could see what awards a particular player has won. But all in all, y'all, it's a lot that we could have with Madden going forward. I think the sky's the limit, largely because Madden isn't held back anymore by pre-generation consoles such as the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. And I've always told people this. So with it only being on next generation consoles, expect to see more depth and dynamics in the game. Now, 18 is more of a mop-up duty, if I'm going to say that. Madden 18, while yes, there's going to be new features, their main focus starting out is to clean up what they call legacy issues, like a fast guy getting caught from behind by a slower guy, improving on the juke moves, the defenders. Oh my gosh. Now, let me pause right there because I played cornerback in college. And playing corner and seeing how the cornerbacks play in Madden it's distasteful. It's a sight for sore eyes. And I would like to think what other NFL cornerbacks feel about how the cornerbacks and safeties play in this Madden simulation video game. I think that EA with Madden, they do a lot for the offense. You see really the quarterbacks, receivers, and running backs get the most love. And I feel like the secondary backs, especially the cornerbacks, are neglected because the majority of the time, they're not even on the screen. But, you know, if you watch a cornerback play, if you've ever played cornerback, go and watch how they play in Madden 17. First of all, they bail out before the receiver is even about to break their cushion. And what that means is, okay, when you're playing cornerback, as long as that receiver is in front of you and he is not about to break your cushion, and what I mean by break your cushion, I mean he's not about to run by you. Like, you could continue to backpedal and keep him in front of you without turning around in a full sprint. So, you know, normally if the receiver's not going to break your cushion and you can keep him in front of you, then you keep your shoulders squared to that wide receiver. That way, if he breaks in or he breaks out, you're already in the perfect position to break with him. However, in Madden, the cornerback, it seems like after maybe 5 or 6 yards, he turns his back or he angles his shoulders away from the wide receiver. And if that's a real life situation, he's beat 100% of the time. But when you play Madden, and that's exactly what happens. Also, you never see the corners playing in the hip pocket of the wide receiver. Now, I understand that you can't put your hands on the receiver after 5 yards. However, that doesn't mean that you can't stay in the hip pocket of that wide receiver. There are cornerbacks out there who cover wideouts like literal blankets. You get what I'm saying? There's defenders out there, defensive backs out there who jam receivers so well at the line of scrimmage that they don't even get off of the line of scrimmage. Yet you don't see that in Madden. And I just really wish that they would fix that. Now, it's a balancing issue because you don't want it to be overpowered, but that's where attributes and stats come into play. If I have a cornerback whose press is in the upper 90s, that guy should be, you know, and I have a receiver going against him whose release is in the 70s, that guy should have a ton of trouble getting off the line of scrimmage in a press situation. You see what I'm saying? There's no emphasis to recruit or sign a quote unquote press or man coverage corner because of this. I remember the days when I used to look at my cornerbacks and things of that nature, and I would say, the type of defense that I play a lot of man defense. I play a lot of press because I understand this, that if my cornerbacks are able to stall the receivers at the line of scrimmage, that gives my defensive line that much more time to get through to potentially get a sack. You see, it's a system and it plays on each other. Same thing even in a zone. If I have my corners playing off flat, their responsibility is the flat. Jamming that receiver just gives the safety more time to get into position as well. That's real life cornerback play for you. And I don't see that being reflected in Madden. Now, I hope that they are listening because this is just something to improve upon, something to really take into consideration for each specific position. Now, I know that these things take time. I know that they take resources. I know that they take money. So I'm not expecting it to be done overnight. However, just a little bit here, a little bit there would be great. Just to know that they're paying attention to those little details that can make a tremendous difference. But all in all, in closing out here, Madden 18 is going to be a step in the right direction. But I really look at it as them taking a step back so that they can see the bigger picture and know where to go. You see what I'm saying? And I say a step back, not to say that the game won't be better, because the graphics are going to be phenomenal in the Frostbite engine. They're adding a new story mode. They're improving. They're taking a step back because they're going back and fixing gameplay issues. Now, I'm going to tell you, when you play Madden 18, it's going to feel like a completely different game. It's going to be very pleasurable to play this game. However, for those of us who, are looking for them to add new stuff, well, yes, they're going to add some stuff, but a lot of the stuff we want added, some of the stuff that I touched on today, won't be added till kind of later on. So all in all, it's a step back, but that step it's a step in the right direction, because they do need to fix those gameplay issues that plagues us so much. But all in all, it's going to be an awesome game. I'm going to be first in line to play it, and I'm extremely excited about it. And even listening to Rex Dixon, you can hear the passion in his voice for this game. You can't help but be excited. You can't help but get that feeling that, yeah, he's going to be the one to set this game right and steer it in the right direction. I hope that you've enjoyed this today. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at DorseyMade87. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, DM Gaming. It's a huge thing that we're doing here, y'all. And we're having a ton of fun doing it. And it's a community thing. Expect more of these podcasts, and any things that you want us to speak on, email us. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know what you want to hear, and we'll bring it to you. As I sign off, like I always sign off, till next time, and God bless.